All right, guys, it is that time of the year once again. Nintendo has officially announced a Nintendo Direct. They said this via Twitter. Tune in at 2 p.m. PST tomorrow, February 8th, for a Nintendo Direct live stream featuring roughly 40 minutes of information, mostly focused on Nintendo Switch games launching the first half of 2023. Watch it here live. I'll also be streaming the show as well. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the notifications. But for today, we're going to be doing a predictions video. So here are my Nintendo Direct predictions. We're going to start off first with DLC predictions. I do think that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 should finally get the next wave of DLC. It's been a little bit quiet on the Xenoblade Chronicles front since the wave 2. I think that this time they've handled DLC in a oh my gosh, there's something every single week or every single month time here with this one, since all the content, all the features are kind of already packed in, and they are probably still toiling away or finalizing the big story content. So maybe we see the next hero in addition to story wave DLC, the big one here. So that should be awesome for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Next up is Fire Emblem Engage DLC. This game has been doing fantastic when it comes to the Japanese sales, also the eShop sales here in the US, and overall sales. And I do think that we will get the next Paralog chapter in addition to Emblem Ring DLC for Fire Emblem Engage. The game is awesome. If you have not seen my review on it and multiple videos, make sure you check it out. I'll have a link for you guys in the description below. Next up is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC. We could see some more of this. I know that sometimes they don't always announce it at Directs, but we still got DLC for the rest of this year with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, so I do think that could be happening as well. Next up after this, and it might be a little bit of a surprise to some people, and that is Animal Crossing New Horizons DLC. I know this game has been kind of dry with the content and updates. Animal Crossing fans aren't necessarily happy, but I don't think Nintendo ever stated that this will be a game that's going to be supported like a live service type of title, but maybe we get something new and something major for Animal Crossing New Horizons for fans to kind of get back into the game. Now, last for the DLC predictions is new Splatoon 3 content for this Nintendo Direct Plus modes. I think that that's one thing that you can kind of look at and say, okay, Splatoon 3 has so many different features and things that it's kind of baked in or built into the experience, but maybe there's some new modes that they're also working on as well for players to get into as we move into the year anniversary of Splatoon 3 this September. So I do think that we could get some new modes, content, and stuff for Splatoon 3. Now, next up is some more announcements that I think that could happen, and that is Octopath Traveler 2. I think that we could get a brand new trailer for the game, plus a demo where the progress transfers over to the full game. This is something that Nintendo has done before with Square Enix, or more like Square Enix just does, and maybe they're announced at a Nintendo Direct, and it's kind of like a big deal, right, to have a demo, then have that transfer over to the main game. I know that, I think Octopath 1 did that, and a lot of the Team Asano games do have demos that transfer over, or just demos to where you can check out the game itself. But obviously the demos that transfer over are the best type of demos because it's cool. Like, you can feel like you're playing the game early and you can just get a head start on it and even see if you like the game. So I think it works for big RPGs like this that aren't the biggest in terms of franchises, but are also still curious for a lot of gamers out there, like with this HD 2D. Now, next up is a brand new trailer for Bayonetta Origins. I think that this game is going to be a lot better than people think. I think there's people that did not play the teaser gameplay that was in Bayonetta 3. It's much easier to unlock and play now if you beat the game. So if you haven't played Bayonetta 3 in a while, or if you haven't played the game, if you want a playable kind of teaser for the game and you have it, you can check it out, Bayonetta 3. But I do think that we could be getting a demo and a new trailer. Maybe they don't do a demo just because it is already in Bayonetta 3, the game, but I do feel that maybe they want to say, hey, okay, this is what this game is about. It is a full $60 release, and I think that not everybody is sold on that just yet. So maybe we see a brand new trailer and maybe even potentially a demo for the game. Now, next up, and probably one of the biggest things for this Direct, will be The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I think that it's going to get a big overview trailer, mechanics, kind of structure, new story. I think there's going to be quite a bit built into it. I wouldn't be surprised if it has its own big segment. So it could be maybe 5+ minutes on The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I think that we could see that right now at this point. Then maybe we get a full-on The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom direct later down the line. But I do think that this is going to be one of the huge releases of this generation for any system. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was one of the more monumental games in the last 20 years for this industry, and obviously it blew Zelda up to way more people than Zelda's even ever been in front of. Tears of the Kingdom is a follow-up to that original Breath of the Wild that literally doubled up plus on sales. We're looking at nearly 30 million in sales for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. That is more than multiple of the biggest Zelda games combined. So like Ocarina of Time, Skyward Sword, Twilight Princess, you can combine those when it comes to individual releases on their original platforms, and that might not even equal The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So I think that Nintendo has been taking their sweet time with this game. I think that they're actually implementing a ton of new features, new gameplay, variety, dungeons, air places, also the ground places. I think that this game is going to be far more expansive than we even think that it's going to be, because one thing that Mr. Aonuma said in the delay video, he said that, hey, you have stuff that's in the sky, then also on the ground in Hyrule, but even beyond. And they didn't actually say what that beyond is. So it's not just the sky areas, and it's not just the ground areas that we're used to in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but it's even more than that. So they're expanding far beyond any of our wildest imaginations and dreams. I think that it's tough because Breath of the Wild is such a huge game, but I think that Tears of the Kingdom is going to be even bigger, and they're going to be doing some crazy stuff in this game. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing more on The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now, next up, I do think that we could see an Advance Wars 1+2, the Reboot Camp game. That could get a surprise release this week, or shadow drop right after the Direct or something. And the reason why I think this is because, one, it's been a year plus, I guess, since the delays, right? Since the original delay when the game was supposed to come out back in 2021 all the way to April the following year, then delayed again because of the war when it comes to Russia and Ukraine. So I do think that finally now they're going to bring this game out. Plus, there was promotional material that was at Walmart, I think, with multiple managers and sources saying that, hey, looks like this game is coming out. So I think that that information does lead to this right here. Them just saying, hey, look, Advance Wars, new trailer, maybe even demo, or just shadow drop of the game, or announcement that it's coming out this week, or a date. So I think that'd be pretty cool. So I think that Advance Wars is back. It's ready to go. Obviously, we know it's done, and we can finally get the game out for the fans of the series. It's been around for 20 plus years, you know, whatever the case is with Advance Wars, because I was playing the games back in the day on the GBA, and it'd be pretty cool to kind of play another Advance Wars game. It's been a while that we've had anything when it comes to Advance Wars since the DS days, so it'd be pretty cool. So I think that that's going to happen. Next up, I think that there is going to be a classic remaster of some sort, or a classic franchise coming back. So this is a variety of different things. We could see Kid Icarus, we could see F-Zero, we could see Star Fox, we could see Golden Sun, we could see Baten Kaitos. There's been rumors and information on any one of these franchises, and the classic that everybody talks about, Metroid Prime Remastered. So any one of these could happen. There was a rumor not too long ago with Baten Kaitos. I think that would be pretty cool. There's been Kid Icarus stuff. I know Sakurai, what he said on his own show kind of teased somewhat. Talk about how it'd be cool to play Kid Icarus Uprising on my home console, you know, so I feel that something could happen, or multiple things could happen in this here. There's been rumors about Golden Sun, but I do think that if I was to pick one, I think that Metroid Prime. This has just been something since 2018 in terms of Metroid Prime, and I do feel that, yes, this has been delayed a bit. And the reason why I think that is because of the Metroid Prime 4 delay. I think that all of these games are kind of intertwined. If we get Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3 plus Metroid Prime 4, the fact that Metroid Prime 4 was scrapped and rebooted with Retro Studios, I think that that completely threw a wrench into the plans for Metroid Prime 2 and 3, or just Metroid Prime Remaster, and kind of going from there. So I think that we finally see Metroid Prime Remastered at this event. Now, for the finale here, the One More Thing game, I think that Metroid Prime 4, I think we get the first trailer and also release window for this game. And to me, this is a huge monumental game, because Metroid Prime, that was a game that really sold millions of people on a GameCube. And I think that without Metroid Prime, the GameCube isn't as good of a library, considering there's Metroid Prime 1 and Metroid Prime 2, but also Metroid Prime was one of the greatest games its release year, and still to this day looked at one of the greatest games of all time. It has one of the best scores of all time, and I think that it really showed that Nintendo can branch out with a Western studio and do some incredible things with the IP in a completely different type of way. Nobody saw how good Metroid Prime would be. Now, there are some issues that I have with it when it comes to motion sickness and the doors not loading fast enough and all sorts of things, fighting enemies over and over when it comes to backtracking and all that. But I think that with this new Metroid Prime 4 game, they're going to modernize things. They're going to take things to the next level. I think that Metroid Prime, even still to this day, on the GameCube looks incredible, or if you're playing it on the Wii, it looks great. The art direction is fantastic, and I feel that with the Nintendo Switch, a system that's several times more powerful and efficient than the GameCube and the Wii, you're going to be able to create a phenomenal art style with great graphics that's going to run and look really good. And I think that that's what they've been working on with Metroid Prime 4. This game, they're trying to perfect it because they're living up to the Metroid Prime name. Remember, Metroid Prime, when it comes to the console Metroid Prime games, none of the games are rated underneath the 90 on Metacritic. None of them. Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3. None of them are rated that. Now, you have some other games, right? Like Metroid Prime Federation Force or Metroid Prime Pinball or games like that. But when it comes to the core console big Metroid games, those are all 90 plus on Metacritic. It is a tall, big franchise to live up to, and I think that that's the reason why they scrapped Metroid Prime 4 with Bandai Namco in the studio that they were working on, because it wasn't up to the standards and quality that people see, and they did not want to have a repeat of what happened with Metroid Other M and how people were looking forward to that, and it ended up just not being what it needed to be from a story or gameplay or controls perspective. So I think that they want to make sure that they get this right. They're taking their time with it. I think that maybe, just maybe, it's finally time to unleash Metroid Prime 4 on the Nintendo Switch and on fans. So we will have to wait and see on that. But what are your thoughts when it comes to my predictions for the Nintendo Direct? Make sure you check out the link in the description. I've got some more videos discussing all these different things that I've talked about here with Xenoblade Chronicles, Fire Emblem Engage, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Bayonetta Origins, Advance Wars. It's all right there. Whatever you're interested in, it will be linked in the description below. I highly recommend my Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and Fire Emblem Engage videos. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the Nintendo Direct when I'm streaming it live right here on PlayerEssence.